Jura, back with Paul from the Ski Instructor Academy here in Kaprun, Austria, with another podcast. Now, you will have noticed it's been a week or two since we last put one out, and the reason for that, Paul, is what?
Well, it's basically because, yes, I managed to contract that strange virus that's been running around for 2 years. I've been looking for it everywhere, and eventually I found it.
Managed to pick it up.
Yeah, I managed to pick it up. But as we were saying previously off camera, is that it was my time because, for 2 years I've been traveling a lot, but I've never ever contracted COVID. I am triple vaccinated. But I knew mixing, as soon as we started our courses off and I was back in mixing with all these people, it's inevitable.
Yeah, you were going to get it.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter that I wear masks, wear plastic gloves and everything. I do the whole 9 yards. It was going to happen. And I really thought it was my time. But of course, it did mean, Andy, that you were sidelined into the kitchen for a bit as well, because doubling up.
Your partner also, who is the chef in the hotel, caught COVID, so as did the rest of the kitchen team.
Yeah.
And then I was roped in to become the cook in the hotel, and some of the other trainers were the waiting on staff.
Yes.
So yeah,
from 8 o'clock till 8 o'clock at night, not non-stop.
And so far, no reports of
food
poisoning. And now, just to set the record straight, when Paul says we were talking off camera, we were actually halfway through this podcast and realised he'd not pressed record. So this is our second time of talking or attempt of.
Hey, I had COVID. Everybody blames COVID for a bad service.
Long COVID.
Yes, I my finger got tired of pressing the record button.
Couldn't press the record button.
Andy, talk about something ski related.
Right.
What we're talking about today.
So for the second time, this podcast's topic is what they call a family teacher, or what some ski schools call a happy family teacher. And we're going to talk about the ins and outs of a family teacher and my thoughts and Paul's thoughts on whether they work or not. And I get straight into it. They do not work, especially.
But they do. Families should stick together.
I'll tell you why for. Let's say somebody wants to come on holiday with a 4-year-old, a 7-year-old, and mum and dad. The ski school, in my opinion, should not sell them a family teacher, because the kids are going to learn in a very different way to the adults, and the kids alone, the 4-year-old who's going to have an attention span of 15 minutes when he's on his skis. 15 seconds, yeah. And then want to play in the snow with his friends who are also 4, is going to have very different needs to the 7-year-old, who potentially will pick up skiing very quickly and could be off with 8 or 10 new friends from different countries skiing around a mountain with a ski teacher. And equally, if they were together, the ski teacher, the happy family ski teacher, would be spending so much time looking after the 4-year-old. The 7-year-old would then get bored, and mum and dad would literally get nothing out of it. Is my thoughts on a family teacher so far.
Yes, but is there somewhere a line where you can draw in the sand and say, well, actually, as of this age, a family can work together, or as of this level, for example, in skiing? Because I think it is disastrous at the very beginning level. I agree. Even at any age, it can be very disastrous at the beginning level, coming together as a family. But certainly as you get better and faster, and everybody's learning the same sort of way, can that work? Or
let's say in this scenario, the 4-year-old and the 7-year-old can now ski basic, as can mum and dad do plough turns as beginners. I still wouldn't encourage them to go together, because the needs are still going to be different. Even if they can all ski to a similar ability, their needs will still be different from what they need from that ski instructor. Now, what the ski instructor and what the ski instructors quite often do, because they also know that the family ski teacher doesn't really work for them as a teacher, is they'll say, right, mum and dad go and have a coffee for an hour while I look after the kids, and I get the kids doing as much as I can whilst literally babysitting the 4-year-old and teaching the 7-year-old. And then mum come back while dad looks after the kids, and I give mum an hour, and then mum can look after the kids and dad can come back and he can get an hour. Now, that takes away from this whole family together thing. So what was the point? You may as well go into groups, and the 4-year-old is with a 4-year-old ski teacher with similar age kids. The 7-year-old is in a group of 6, 7, 8-year-olds having a load of fun, and mum and dad are actually learning having great fun. Yeah, are learning to ski in an adult environment. Now, There's nothing to say that at the end of the day they can't all get together and have a bit of family time, whether that be on the slopes, whether it be tubing, tobogganing, playing in the Kinderland. That can still happen.
And sharing experiences
Yeah,
as well, because
yeah.
they've all had different experiences. But as I said before, it's often the thoughts and ideas. Don't slate me in the comments below. But it's usually the lady of the relationship who says, "I want to come on a ski holiday. I'll let you go." She's not that keen in the first place often because she's given up a holiday in Barbados or Tenerife or whatever, and so she goes, "Okay, we can go, but we're going as a family." Thinking that that is the best way to get some mid-ground on everybody, and actually it's quite hard to educate people like that to say, look, that's not the best way. The best way, even if it'd be better to do half-day group lessons, which I know aren't also ideal because it does disrupt things, but you need to bring the family together. Let's face it, most ski schools are finished at 2:30.
Yeah.
So you've still got a
plenty of time.
lot of the day to
Plenty
go.
of time, yeah.
Just try to take the advice of what we're doing on this podcast, really, and, avoid that like the plague and say, look, yeah, we need to do adults, kids separate, and rely upon keeping everybody in their own bubble, if you like, of learning. It works better.
Now, there are times that it can work. And I would say if you've got a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old, a mum and dad, and they were all beginners, it could work. But then also, the kids would have a much better time with other teenagers skiing and learning, and mum and dad would probably have a much better time being away from the kids for 4 hours of the day, because again, you're on a family holiday, but you as the adults want to have a holiday, you want the kids to have a holiday, and then the kids are going to come back to you and tell you how great their day was anyway. But it could work with older teenagers and adults. It could work even if they were beginners. You can teach them a similar pace, let's say, unlike with the 7-year-old and adults. But I would say the kids would have a better time with other kids. I've actually got one booked in February, which is a family that took up from 10 years on the bounce. I've always skied with the adults, and I've always had a second teacher for the two boys. And I think the boys now must be 12 and 15 or 13 and 16. Now, this year, we are all going to ski together, but it's because the boys can ski.
Yeah.
The boys have been in ski school kids lessons for 10 weeks. This will be their 11th week.
Yeah.
So they can ski pretty much better than mum and dad. Dad's probably the best. Mum's probably the weakest. But when I say weak, it
Hope
doesn't
she's
mean,
not listening.
doesn't mean she can't ski. She can ski. She skis very well, but the kids are naturally fast.
Yeah.
Dad wants to be fast, and mum likes to get around in control. Okay? But this, I'm hoping, is going to work, and I'm sure it will work, because I can teach the boys a similar level to the parents because they can ski. But if those boys couldn't ski, I would be saying to these people, listen, we need to keep them separate again. Yes, we'll meet up on an afternoon and we'll do some runs together, which we did last time they were here, pre-COVID. We had a powder day where the two teachers came together and we all skied as a four just for an hour, but then we went our separate ways for the learning experience. So family teachers, in my opinion, if the ages are so extreme,
It doesn't work.
It
And I
doesn't
think
work.
what people might want to know behind the scenes, if you're not from the ski instructor background, is ski instructors don't want to do it. Secretly, as soon as they see that they have a happy family, they're weak. They're just
Demotivated.
thinking, they're going to think, oh no, this is going to be a horrendous week. So you're getting almost like a ski teacher that's been pushed into doing this lesson that he doesn't want to do or she doesn't want to do. And it then that's a challenge in itself for somebody to overcome those thoughts, because sometimes, there is that 1 in 100 where it all comes together and it's a great crack, it's a great time, depending on how the family is. But I think the family needs to sit before they come skiing, if they're already experienced skiers, to discuss what they want out of that holiday. If these are beginners, just don't do it. Just do not do it if you're a beginner. Do not ski as a family as beginners. And that's the simplest answer, I would say.
yeah. Yep.
Anything to add, Andy?
No, I'm just thinking of if I've done the right thing of putting this family together or not now. Bye for now.
See you in the next one. Bye for now.